literal tank, by the way.
Whoever you want, just really go to town. I don't care. Spooky, right?
I find it disturbing that the seller only accepts payment in Dogecoin, but beyond that, I feel nothing.
What about the collection of horrifying JPEGs? Have you seen a man jerk off this many astronauts? It's insane!
Rub your finger me. Come on.
I'm trying to finger you.
Finger harder.
Alright, I'm gonna drop my sign. I'm gonna drop my finger for you. I'm gonna finger for you.
Finger so I can come.
I'm fingering so you can come.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of figured it was going to be a mini-boss eventually, considering how fucking starship. Ah, what the fuck? Oh, I got crushed.
The light's not there
Oh, no, right.
and the
I have no lives.
story takes an unexpected turn.
Ah!
A friend is suddenly gone. We can cry our lives away, but if they were here, they'd say,
Way to
go
huff!
forward, you must keep
Was I really that
moving
close to the edge?
on.
Oh, don't tell me I gotta get those fucking shards again. Don't tell me I gotta get them. Oh, same? Okay, that was massive, actually.
I wonder if I can just win one.
just playing a little bit of the story. I cannot fucking wait. That's why I said I don't want to stream today. I don't feel like setting this shit up right
Ma, come get Farah.
Like this sounds like the same trade-off you gave.
No, I'm serious. Come get him. He's over at the other door that you guys are at. And
No,
Alex is gonna run away. Alex is gonna run.
Hell yeah!
Just soft reset whoever I have to talk to get an EV until I get it. That's a lot simpler and easier. Even though the thing that sucks about it is that when you're breeding that female EV, it's probably just going to be a male. Oh crap. Whoa, thank you for the follow, little drawing boy. Would you like to have your Pokemon nickname? Yes, I would. If it's not a female, I'm going to cry. I'm not actually going to cry, but I'm very specific, okay? I want... You have a higher...
Okay, wait, I need to switch this. Ground splitter, guard edge. Are these the right ones? Yeah, this is the right ones. Yeah. I do like the flash bomb a lot too, I won't lie. That's one that I'm actually like somewhat... My god. Yeah, Jim, see, there's the effect that we wanted, baby.
Yo, what's up, what's good? Hello, hi there. What's good, everyone? I'm Riding the Phantoms here. Nice to see you guys. We're back with another episode of the Lightning Round podcast. We are on episode number 42 of this, we're on episode number 42 of this amazing podcast, solo podcast that, I started way back when. Nice to see that, you guys still love to tune in and love to listen to the thoughts and stuff I have to say. So today it's going to be a bit of a short episode. And the reason why for this short episode, at least I think it will be short, we'll see when we go along with it. The reason why I think it'll be short is because honestly I don't have much to talk about. Aside from the NFL games, there hasn't really been all that much worth talking about aside from a couple things that happened, such as, y'all know what happened last week with the Damar Hamlin situation. I do need to talk about that because that whole situation was why I practically took off throughout the whole week of streaming. Like, I had it all planned out with what I wanted to do, and his situation happened the way that it did, pretty much threw off everything for me with streaming. Like, I was not in the right mental state to even do it because all I could think about and all I could pray about was him and his safety. We had, there's that. Oh, God. We need to talk about, that with Damar Hamlin. We need to talk about Vince McMahon for a little bit. Not going to be too long, but we do need to talk about it for a little bit. And last but not least, we need to, just talk about the NFL. If there's more stuff that comes to mind that that we should talk about, definitely do let me know. But for the time being, this is all I could really come up with. Because I will let y'all know right now, I feel like I am starting to come down, like a little under the weather. Because for some reason, my head is hurting. Like, it's not hurting as bad. But it's like, it's like one of those things where, it's one of those things where you feel under the weather, but you still feel like you can move around. That's how I'm feeling. Like, I can't say if it's like a fever, so to speak, but it feels up at that level. I will say for a little bit, it feels like my sense of taste, like it hasn't lost, but it feels a little diminished, if that makes sense. Luckily, I did just eat some chicken and stuff like that, so my sense of taste is still there. I just feel like it's not as sharp as it usually would be. But yeah, I'll worry about that when when it all comes. But till then, like I said, we have our topics here. We have the Eagles, we have the NFL, we have Vince McMahon. I do want to talk maybe a little bit about Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, just one particular question. In fact, this is actually where the question is going to lie with. My question to all of you that currently play Master Duel, or don't play Master Duel, but you've seen enough of Yu-Gi-Oh! My thing is for you is, what is a deck for you that you consider the most toxic, whether it's in the game, whether it's in Master Duel, or whether it's not in Master Duel? At least so far for me, the deck that I hate the most is currently in Master Duel, which is obvious enough that I'm gonna mention. I'm gonna mention Runix. For me, it is the most, arguably the most toxic deck in the game currently. But there have been ways that people have found in order to counter it so far. And for you said the same thing. You said Runix for you is also one of, if not the most toxic deck for me. Now, I do know there is a couple other decks that have not come here yet to Master Duel, such as the Sinomites. What is that? Sinomites. Who cares what that is? The Dinos. Yeah. I've seen a little bit of what the Dinos can do. They are definitely very, very crazy. But yeah, there's two particular decks that have not come in here yet, and that's the Sprites and that's the Tearlaments. So, two particular decks that people say are extremely good. In fact, they arguably are better than the Runix. So we will see. All I know with the Tearlaments is that they have graveyard effects. And with the Sprites, they're basically level 2 cards. They're mostly level 2 cards that just, they're powerful level 2 cards. Even the Exceed version is level 2, and it's a bit of a problem, for some people. Dynamist? I need to look that up. In fact, you know what? Since we're on here, I'm on YouTube. Let's actually do the favor of having to look this up. I'm curious to what this is all about. The Dynamist, huh? Negate. Well, we thought, Baron de Flor was bad. Jesus. It's in solo. It's in solo? Really? Oh. Hold up. You mean...
Welcome back, heroes. Steam dinosaurs.
These motherfuckers? These dudes? Wow. You can't kill them. They just discard a spell, trap, and negate, then resummon itself and summon two more of those things.
Lands. Now, in the history of Yu-Gi-Oh!
Oh my.
So then we pendulum summon them.
They're pendulums? Considering I'm still trying to learn pendulums, that's very interesting.
It's the first time I've actually seen it in this game.
Damn, I completely avoided these motherfuckers.
Ooh. Got an animation for that.
Huh.
You activate the effect.
Because what I have now, I have the Odd Eyes deck, from the main character of the show. So that's the one I have, is the Odd Eyes deck. So that's very crazy.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
I mean...
I would have never thought. Oh shit.
Like, it got a little tutorial, but didn't really get
oh god.
How they actually want to...
I would have never thought a deck like that would be that much of a problem. I do know there's a FTK deck with Pendulum though, but it's not as consistent. Well, it may or may not be as consistent, but we'll wait. we'll see if he gets more consistent as time goes on. I know it just got limited. Speaking of that, if you guys remember the last episode, episode 41, where we talked about the ban list, it is now officially in effect starting today. So if there's some cards that you have, that is either over the ban list limit or not supposed to be there at all, if you have those cards, you can scrap them for extra material. Demonic, how you doing? Welcome. We're just now getting started on our episode. Yeah, keep that in mind when you hop back in Yu-Gi-Oh! That ban list is now in effect. So for me, when I get back on, I have to scrap a card of the Pot of Duality. We have to scrap Pot of Duality, so I get extra material off one more Pot of Duality, and of course one more. I think I should get extra material off of branded, one of the branded cards that got hit, that also went down to 2. How you doing, Demonic? I hope everything with you has been going well today. I know I saw you posting DMs about the movie that you went to, and you said it was pretty meh. So, that's a bit of a shame. That, that fucking sucks. But, at least I hope there was some other movie that you went to go see that was pretty solid. At least I hope so. But yeah, Pod Duality is a very powerful card. The only problem with that is Pod Duality got hit only because of Runic and because of Flow on the Rees. Otherwise, it would have never gotten hit in the first place. It was just fine at 3. Yeah, if it's down to 2, then it's down to 2. Ain't nothing we could do about that. I need to talk about this real quick. So we need to talk about the Vince McMahon situation. You've been playing Final Fantasy 7? Hey, let's go. Next movie will be Avatar. You can't wait for that. Yeah, bro, go enjoy Avatar. I've been hearing a lot of good things about the second one. Like I said, my only thing with Avatar is I don't know if I could sit by and watch it for too long, because it is like a 2-3 hour movie, and it's like, Jesus Christ, how do y'all sit there and do that? I give credit to anyone that can. So my apologies for either yawning or feeling like, slightly out of it. And yes, I will be hydrating. I do have something to drink. I have not Gatorade, but I have something that will keep up my electrolytes for a little bit. Let's see. Vince McMahon. So we got a couple wrestling things we need to go through. There's one in particular with some contracts that are expiring from New Japan. And of course we got the we got this situation that we're going to talk about right around now. So for people that wasn't aware, throughout the week, Vince McMahon, because of what had happened with him and his company, if you guys remember, Vince McMahon got voted out of WWE, got pushed out of WWE because of a sexual harassment scandal between him and a woman within his company, to where he sat up there and he was voted off. And what happened was that his son-in-law, Triple H, you be taking your relatives to do it next week? Hey, that's what I'm talking about. Have fun. His son-in-law Triple H and of course his daughter Stephanie McMahon took over the company, and at first, the first half of it was looking pretty good. It was looking like it was a good idea to go ahead and move on. But right now, at the moment, at least with WWE, it's been just like on autopilot, kind of coasting along. I mean, I guess I'd rather that at the moment, because there's some things Vince McMahon does well. There's some things Vince McMahon, or in this case Triple H, there's some things Triple H does well. And but there's also some things that he doesn't do well, such as the women's division is still kind of meh to me. It's not really as entertaining or as good, so to speak. And for me, when it goes to Raw and SmackDown, they're not necessarily enough to get me to watch. It's like, I don't even really watch WWE or AEW for that matter for the weekday shows. I just tune in for the pay-per-views and then just catch up with it on Twitter. That's basically the only way I just catch up. So, the only way I watch AEW or WWE in this case would be if a superstar I really like happened to return. Like take Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt would probably be the only thing I watch out of WWE, and if he's not owner anymore, I just don't watch. Now I know there's Roman Reigns, he's absolutely killing it, but I don't watch him anymore either, unless until some other changes happen. So at this point, I'm just watching just to see who I like is on. I'm not watching just the whole show because my tolerance for watching WWE now is just not there anymore. So that's basically what it is. But with Vince McMahon having to come back, so what's gonna happen with Vince McMahon returning is he's basically gonna be a part of the board of directors, but he's not making any calls within creative or anything of that sort. The only thing he's doing within WWE is he's making sure that the deals that they have, they go through. In fact, Vince is even so much as he might be attempting to sell the company. Now, for me, this is a gift and a curse, and understandably, a lot of wrestlers are not too thrilled about this, considering what I'm about to read right here, where it says the morale was much better without Vince McMahon. Now everyone's worried again because it's like if Vince is in charge and they're trying to sell, does that mean they're going to start doing cuts? They're going to start doing budget cuts. Now, if y'all want to know who's a prime victim for these budget cuts, let's take Bray Wyatt, who just came back. Bray Wyatt, who just came back, was a prime victim of budget cuts. And he was one of, if not the most hottest acts in WWE as he was doing the Fiend gimmick. Now, understandably for people, they think it trailed off a little. But you would still think he would not leave the company because of how much love he has for the company. So to find out that he got cut off due to budget cuts, it took him almost a full year. In fact, it did take him a full year for him to finally come back into WWE. And, the rest is history from when he came back at Extreme Rules, had the loud ovation. Now, right at the moment with Bray, he's just doing a little feud with LA Knight, so we'll see where that's going to go. Apparently, they're going to have a match at the Royal Rumble, so we will be tuning in to see how that'll all go. Another situation with this, aside from, but, I'll talk about that in a bit with New Japan. But if I had to give my thoughts on the whole situation with the whole Vince McMahon thing is, look, if I'm every WWE superstar on that roster, I'd be wary because just for his presence alone coming back into the company, I'd be worried for my life because as you know, look, there's no other way these people could really there is ways that people could really make their money, but for them, wrestling is not just their job, it's their fucking hobby. It's what they want it to be. It's what they grew up wanting to do. They wanted to go to companies like this, and they wanted to make a big impact in the wrestling world and, have fun and enjoy doing it. So to have this situation loom over their heads, along with specific talent not being there, such as Randy Orton, who is dearly missed in the WWE right now, it is not what they need at the moment. So, hopefully with Vince, it'll just be him doing the deals and nothing more and nothing less within the company. Because any more of an involvement with him being in the company, it's going to completely mess up, I would say, the process with what WWE has been building. Triple H and Stephanie have done a solid job so far with taking over creative. And even though they're a little mid in terms of some things, they still keep it steady. They still keep it afloat. So hopefully it'll stay that way. But we will see as time goes on. All I know is this: I can't so much as blame Stephanie and Triple H. I can't so much as blame the board of directors. This is more so with the fact that Vince has so much power over the company that even when he leaves for a couple months, he'll still find his way to weasel himself back in the company. Now, what he's doing to try to get himself back in creative, if he is trying to do that, is actually damn near illegal, apparently. But like I said, we'll see more about that as time goes on, because I don't know too much about how it all goes with you being a sharer, you being in a company and just making deals to now all of a sudden you move all the way back up to creative as if you never left. So for me, that's a little suspect. The next situation I want to talk about is, can I bring it up here? No. Well, yes, I can actually. The next situation, what's going on here, is for New Japan Pro Wrestling. Give me a minute. Sign that my sickness actually is coming in because it's like I'm like spitting out cough, cold, or some shit like that. I don't know. But some news coming in with New Japan Pro Wrestling, so we'll see how much this will change the wrestling world with Switchblade Jay White. So for people that don't know who Jay White is, if y'all haven't seen a couple of the New Japan Pro Wrestling clips and stuff I have shown, or streams that we have been in for Wrestling Night. Jay White is one of, if not the biggest star in the company. And I say one of. Because if there's a couple people you think about when it goes to New Japan currently, it's either Kazuchika Okada or it's Jay White, which is ironic because both of them just had a match at Wrestle Kingdom for the main event for the IWGP World Heavyweight title. So to see this situation come up, such as his contract is expiring soon, it's going to be very interesting to see what's going to happen with this. So we'll, like, if I had to ask this, and this is for any wrestling fan in here or any wrestling fan outside of it, when you take a look at this, the big question I have with this is, where do you think Jay White is going to go? So apparently WWE has big interest in Jay White. Of course, who the fuck wouldn't have big interest in Jay White? And I'll tell you what he does so well. I'll put this in comparison with Jay White. Jay White for me is like, he got the cockiness of a Triple H, if that makes sense. Where if you remember back in the Attitude Era, Triple H was extremely cocky. Not only that, he pretty much was just running shit in the Attitude Era. Now, part of this had to be because of the fact that he's with Stephanie McMahon. But still, it's the fact that dude really was out here and just running the company, and just not necessarily staying toe-to-toe with, say, someone like The Rock or someone like Stone Cold, but, you know, storyline-wise, charisma-wise, wrestling-wise, he made it so damn good for you to hate him. And I think that's what Jay White does so well, whereas he does a very good job of making people hate him. And there's only few wrestlers I could think of nowadays that can actually do this correctly. You know, there's Bryan Danielson, for an example. You know, you love him for being a face, you know, having to chant yes, and then after that you'll end up hating him for saying no. And that's the kind of aura that Jay White gives off when it goes to him wrestling. Is he has ways of getting in your head and making you find ways to hate him, even through the most heinous of actions. I would say more like, say, Randy Orton. There you go. I think with him, he gives me a vibe of Randy Orton. But in New Japan. You know, at least in terms of, okay, who's better as a bad guy, who's better as a good guy? For me, Jay White fits the bill as one of the best bad guys, you know, in the business today. Has been, you know, in a couple years now. Especially with having to be the leader of Bullet Club. So we'll see what's going on with him. If me personally, I don't think he's gonna leave New Japan. I think for him, he's too happy with where he is in New Japan. But if he does leave, honestly, I can see an easy transition right over to AEW because they do need some talent like him. Understandably, WWE does too. I completely get it. But for him, I think his best matches would really come, and his promo work and his best matches would really come from AEW. So we'll see what's gonna go on with Jay White. You know, definitely a top star in the business now. We're gonna definitely keep an eye on him. Another thing is CM Punk. Apparently, this is our last one with wrestling. Then after that, we'll talk more about this. Apparently, CM Punk, he's been posting some stuff. Now he hasn't posted anything regarding AEW. You guys remember what happened with CM Punk? It was the All Out situation back in, like, God, what was it? October? I think it was October or September when this shit happened. went all out where he had that little altercation after the press conference. So, according to Wrestling Observer News, CM Punk is pushing that he wants to come back and do business. That's great for the wrestling world. That's great for me entirely because CM Punk's one of my favorite wrestlers currently. You know, not even currently, but he's one of my favorite wrestlers like throughout the, generation of wrestling. I'll have to say he's like top 15 on that end, not top 10, but he's definitely in the top 15 category in terms of promo work, wrestling ability, whatever and what for. And the main thing I love the most about CM Punk, this is where we all relate to him, is he has no problem having to speak his mind and tell it to you like it is. So for him having to look at a comeback, now if y'all remember, CM Punk he got hurt. He got hurt. He injured, I believe, his tricep, whatever the fuck it was. So even if the situation had not happened between him and the Elite and Kenny Omega, he still would have been out for a significant amount of time because of the fact that, he's rehabbing. Because the last match you saw him was him versus Jon Moxley, but we'll see what's gonna happen with CM Punk too. A lot of these are wait and sees. Vince McMahon's a wait and see. Jay White is a wait and see, and now CM Punk is a wait and see. But I will say this: if any of these things do happen, that I talked about with Vince McMahon having to go back to creative, Jay White having to go to AEW or WWE, no matter which, I expect him to stay. But if he does leave and go to other companies, I'll definitely want to talk more about this and see what would this mean for the wrestling world entirely. And of course, also CM Punk coming back as well. I can definitely see a match like this happening. You have CM Punk versus Jay White, two of them who can cut promos, and two of them who are known for getting under people's skin, particularly each other's skin. I feel like that would be a money-making match to me, especially off of the promo work. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what'll happen with all three of these. But I would love to see CM Punk return to wrestling very, very soon. And of course, before I go ahead and talk about scores, I need to ask: do any of y'all want to chime in on any of this stuff with wrestling? What do y'all think about the Vince McMahon situation of him having to go back to WWE despite having the scandals hit him? The sexual scandals hit him. And of course, we had the Dark Side of the Ring. I haven't forgotten about that either. But a Dark Side of the Ring, it was stuff that we already knew with Vince. We already knew he was a weird scumbag as it is. But yeah, if any of y'all got stuff y'all want to talk about with Vince McMahon, Jay White, CM Punk, now's the time to talk about it before I go on ahead and I talk about the final week of the regular season, which is the NFL. So, I'll give y'all that. Fuyu, Demonic, y'all got anything y'all want to discuss with this? It's up to you. It's up to y'all. Because I don't want to leave y'all, I don't want to leave it so that, I don't want to make it so that y'all don't have any, I don't want to make it so that y'all don't have a voice. I want y'all to have a voice and, speak your mind. So I'll give y'all a little bit. Or Demonic, he's good. He said continue. You're good, continue. Okay, Fuyu has no thoughts. That's fine. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and continue. Alright, so this one right here, we're going to talk about the NFL. Okay? I will say this one more time. I'll say this as always. And this is going to continue to be the case because we got spring football coming. If you guys are not a fan of football, now is the time to sit up there and, back off, just back away until I finish this stuff up. Oh, and speaking of, before I actually get into football, I'm going to let y'all know real quick. When we're done with this podcast episode, I will stop, but then I will come back because I need to continue Life is Strange. I have not played Life is Strange in months. I have not played Yakuza in months. So what I'm going to do is until I get these projects done, I'm not going to focus on anything else for the time being unless it's like multiplayer related. So like any other single player projects, they're going to be put on hold until I get this out the way. So we got Honkai to catch up on, we got Okami to do, we got Yakuza to come back on, and we have Life is Strange to catch up on. We have like 3-4 games we need to finish, and it would suck for me to have to leave these games unfinished like it is. Now I understand there is another Life is Strange, but I'm not gonna get to that until we finish the first one. And even though after I finish the first one, I have more projects I want to get to. So yeah, there's that. So letting y'all know ahead of time. When I'm done here, I'm gonna come right back with Life is Strange. I do not remember where we were last. Hopefully, luckily, we got the whole, previously on Life is Strange thing, like an episode. So hopefully from there, we'll get a little caught up if y'all don't remember where we were in the game. All right. So week 18 of the NFL, the last week of the regular season. We're finally here. If this was a year ago, it'd be week 17. But the fact that it's week 18, makes it all the more crazy. Oh, God. Oh. All right, so here we go. Chiefs Raiders 31-13. Everybody already knew the Chiefs was going to win this game. But the way how they completely disrespected and embarrassed the Raiders is absolutely insane to me. Bro, we really got the Chiefs out here playing Ring Around the Rosie with their opponents. What the fuck kind of shit is this? It's weird to me, but hey, all I know is this, sadly, and I think this is gonna happen. I think, even for Fuyu's mom, she's not gonna be too thrilled about it. But Patrick Mahomes is pretty much gonna win MVP. Now, as much as I would have wanted to be Jalen Hurts for obvious reasons, it's not going to be Jalen Hurts, only because of the fact that he missed time. Now, granted, he showed that because of him missing time, that he's very valuable, not just to the team, but to the league itself. But sadly, him having to miss the time that he missed, it pretty much all but set in stone Patrick Mahomes winning the MVP. If he didn't get hurt, he would have definitely won it. Make no mistake about it. Titans-Jags. This was a game that we knew might come down to the wire, and this is exactly what it was. Jaguars beat the Titans 2016. Titans lose like 3-4 games straight, and they completely knocked themselves out of playoff contention. Meanwhile, the Jacksonville Jaguars with the one and only Doug Peterson, Doug Peterson, out here putting in work. Trevor Lawrence going 20 of 32, 212 yards, 1 touchdown. Josh Dobbs had 20 of 29, 179 yards, 1 touchdown. Derrick Henry rushed for 109. Travis Etienne rushed for 17. Chigoza Okonkwo scored a touchdown with 3 catches. Christian Kirk, 6 catches, 99 yards and a touchdown. Pretty much a solid game from back and forth. So if you were a football fan and you were able to tune into this, you caught a really good game. This is arguably the best game out of the week, because all the other ones here were either pretty boring or pretty crazy. Pretty much a blowout. Vikings beat the Bears 29-13 as expected. Bills beat the Patriots 35-23. Now, this what's so crazy out of this game is that this is the game after the Damar Hamlin situation. And if y'all were here and if y'all saw what had happened the minute I turned on the stream, I gotta tell you this, man. The Bills are riding on such an emotional high, it's not even funny. The game after Damar Hamlin had his cardiac arrest, and the Bills received the opening kickoff. They get the kickoff and they return it all the way back for a fucking touchdown. Insane shit. Like, bro, that is just downright storybook with what happened with the Bills in this game. And it's crazy because I think for them, they're gonna ride this. This is me personally. They're gonna ride this emotional high all the way into the AFC Conference Championship game, because I think with them personally, they're gonna play with nothing to lose. They almost lost something precious to them in a player. So Josh Allen went 19 of 31, 254 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Matt Jones got picked off 3 times, but he did score 3 touchdowns, so he had a pretty meh game. James Cook had 45 yards out of 9 carries. Stephon Diggs, 7 receptions, 104 yards and a touchdown. John Brown, 1 reception, 42 yards and a touchdown. They didn't really do too much in the stat line, but they did enough defensively, and they did enough when it went to the return game, because Naheem Hines scored on a kick return twice. So it's, yeah, like I said, the Bills, man, they're riding on that emotional high. And if I'm every team in the AFC, I'd be on the lookout. Even Kansas City, you cannot play that ring around the rosy shit with a team that is under severe emotional distress, like they are right now. And speaking of that, with the Damar Hamlin situation, as you know, everybody had they had a 3 somewhere in the crowd. If y'all had seen, I think I did post it. I think I did post it on Twitter. If I didn't, I'll go ahead and post it. After the stream, where the Eagles showed their salute. Everybody in the league showed their salute to Damar Hamlin. I don't think. No, I look at it. Yeah, I don't think I did, but I did post it on Twitter, where they did show their love and support for him. So luckily for him, another update for him. I'm going to go ahead and see if I could go to the Bills real quick on Twitter. They give him more and more and more positive updates when it goes to him, and it's absolutely amazing. Dude went from cardiac arrest to now he's been discharged from hospitals. He's been enjoying his life. Apparently, when the kick return happened with Naheem Hines, he was so goddamn hyped that he set off the fire. He set off the alarms in the ICUs. He was jumping up and down in joy, with what the Bills accomplished today. And I'm very happy for him. So yeah, the Bills right now, every game they win, every game they play, they're gonna be thinking about him until he is seen, from them, from the public, or at least for the players. That's what they're gonna be doing. That's very, and it's very cool. The Buffalo Bills are gonna have 3 jerseys on the side of their. They're gonna have 3 stickers on the side of their jerseys, and every team in the league they're gonna have number 3 on their field. So I think at the 35-yard line they're gonna have number 3 from there. So that's pretty cool in of itself. Let's see here. I'm gonna see if I can look this up real fast. Give me one moment. If you guys can't see it, I'll go ahead and show y'all. Here it is right here. This is coming from Hamlin himself. He said he's not quite home yet. Still doing and passing a bunch of tests. Special thank you to the Buffalo General. It's been nothing but love since arrival. Keep me in your players, please. 3 strong. So as you guys can see, coming from him, he's enjoying. He's doing a lot better. Massive improvement compared to what it was last week, where we were all just under duress, under distraught. We just could not think straight. To go from this to come from here is absolutely amazing. So still keep your prayers up for him. He'll, until he fully gets back up to strength. Just continue to keep praying for him. Next we have this Brown Steelers. Steelers win the game, but here's the problem with that. The Steelers win the game, but the Steelers got knocked out of the playoffs. So, damn, that sucks for them. And I'll show you how they got knocked out in the playoffs in a little bit. Bengals, Ravens. Bengals win 27-16. Okay, yeah, I actually did cover these games. Okay, yeah, I think I did cover these games. But yeah, the Steelers got knocked out of the playoffs because one particular team advanced while despite the fact that they won, one team that they needed to lose, they did not lose. They won, in fact. So, damn, sucks to be the Steelers. Winning record and still not in the playoffs. Where have I seen this before? Dolphins beat the Jets 11-6. Dolphins are going to the playoffs. I think that's why, because the Dolphins won their game and the Steelers got knocked out because of this. Falcons actually beat the Buccaneers 30-17. Buccaneers are in the playoffs, so I don't think they matter too much. Panthers beat the Saints 10-7. Y'all already know where this means. NFL Tankathon. Y'all know where this is going. Y'all should have known where this is going. Thank you, Carolina Panthers, for beating the Saints, even though sadly the Eagles didn't beat them. They should have beaten them. But thank you for that. So once that comes up, I'll go ahead and show you. Woo! My God, the light that is bright. The Eagles have, the Eagles are now at number 10. So end of the season doesn't matter. The Eagles are at number 10. So we're at the mercy of not other teams to see if there's marquee talent that can be had for this team. But having the number 10 pick in the draft is massive value for the Philadelphia Eagles. If I have to say, that is a massive W considering what has happened with them and the New Orleans Saints. We can talk about the playoff matchups as well. We're going to talk about this under here. I will talk about that in a little bit. So let's see. Let's continue on. The Texans beat the Colts. Where are you at? Where are you at? Texans beat the Colts 32-31 in a pretty crazy game. I think everybody thought the Texans were going to lose this game just to secure the first round pick, but the Texans were like, nope, fuck out of here. We're going to play to win the game, That's what we are. The funny thing about that, go ahead, Fuyu. Go ahead. The Texans were trying to lose on purpose. So that shows me that the Colts are so fucking bad that even when the Texans are trying to lose, they still sat up there and win because the Colts don't know how to do shit right. Jesus Christ. '49ers beat the Cardinals. You might want to stay tuned for this. '49ers beat the Cardinals 38-13 in what is J.J. Watt's final game as an NFL player. J.J. Watt, I'm going to go right down to him. He picked up 2 sacks. He got 3 tackles, 2 for loss. 2 that is assisted, and 2 sacks. So, J.J. Watt, I'm sure I can speak for the city of Houston for a little bit when I say, thank you so much for an amazing NFL career. You enjoy family. You enjoy your life. You have been absolutely amazing. You've been a trailblazer for the for the Houston community in Hall of Fame-esque, Hall of Fame defensive end, Hall of Fame career. So we'll see you in Canton very, very soon. Yeah, that's the game. 49ers, they're staying as a 2nd seed. Now, Cowboys versus Commanders. Now, you would think, would this game go to Clap Cheeks of the Week? Which so crazy. It might, but there's one game in particular. I'm going to have to talk about, and it's not even NFL related. And that game is going to get the Clap Cheeks Clap Cheeks of the Clap Cheeks Award of the week. Rip J.J. Watt, good man, good player. Yeah, rip his career. I mean, his career is pretty much over. He's going to go and be a family man. So, congrats to him. I'm, all the more happy to him. He's bled for this league. He sacrificed for this league. So for him, he deserves to, go home and, relax with family. But for the Cowboys and the Commanders, it's crazy because the Eagles needed the Cowboys to lose this game in order to clinch the NFC East. They did more than that. We'll talk about them in a little bit. Dak Prescott went 14 of 37. Good fucking Lord. 128 yards, 1 touchdown. Sam Howell went 11 of 19, 169 yards and a touchdown. It's crazy how a fucking rookie outplays Dak Prescott. Tony Pollard went 7 carries, 19 yards. Jarrett Patterson went 17 carries, 78 yards. CeeDee Lamb, 52 receptions, 52 yards and a touchdown. I guess Dallas missed the extra point. That's why they got 6 points. Terry McLaurin, they literally did not score at all in 3 quarters. That's fucking terrible. Terry McLaurin, 3 receptions, 74 yards and a touchdown. Dak Prescott got pick sixed. Yep. That 1 interception he threw, it was a pick 6, and that pretty much sealed the game. Zeke Elliott, Tony Pollard did not do anything. For the Cowboys' sake, I hope y'all was just messing around because, honestly, if they even would have just so much as won the game, you're putting pressure on the Eagles to sit up there and, win the whole NFC East, let alone the NFC. Just like the 49ers did. The 49ers pretty much put pressure on the Eagles to wrap everything up. And they just, decided to say fuck out of here. But we'll see. We'll see how this will all go in the playoffs. This is what I do know. Buccaneers, Cowboys. That's going to be a very interesting wild card game. Cowboys as of late has been shaky. Buccaneers have been shaky, but they have been steady enough to win a couple games. Rams, Seahawks. Seahawks win 19-16. We'll talk more about the Seahawks in a little bit. They won via game-winning field goal. Eagles. They beat the Giants 22-16 with the return of the MVP in my eyes, Jalen Hurts. So, 1 minute. I was at this game, and even I knew that they were gonna have to protect Jalen Hurts in some way, and they did a good job. That's a tough job to sit up there, not only protect your quarterback from getting hurt again, but to also come out with the W. Now, granted, in this game, the score, don't let the score fool you. The Giants were pretty much resting stars, as you can see. Davis Webb, 23 of 40, 168 yards and a touchdown. Jalen Hurts, 20 of 35, 229 yards. He didn't score a touchdown. He threw an interception. Boston Scott scored a touchdown. He scored, I think he scored the only touchdown in this game because the rest of it was pretty much field goals. He scored the only touchdown for the Eagles in this game because the rest of it was pretty much field goals. A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown, his first season here has been nothing short of spectacular because A.J. Brown broke the Eagles' Eagles receiving record in the season. Massive congratulations to him. He wore Mike Quick's jersey after the game. He felt like he knew he was going to end up breaking it, and he did just that. Absolutely insane how we bring in A.J. Brown after the trade from Tennessee, and he has just been nothing short of spectacular. But we'll see if he can continue this come playoff time. Devontae Smith has also benefited from this. Devontae Smith got 1,000 yards in the season. A.J. Brown got 1,000 yards in the season. And, having two 1,000-yard wideouts is something that, I wasn't even expecting. And also, that's the first time in Eagles history to have two receivers on our team at 1,000 yards. We usually would have one at 1,000, but the fact that we have two at 1,000 and it hasn't been done yet, it's great to see that, this tandem with A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, they're going to be here for quite a long time. Oh, damn. Truesanoger procs off the brand new alerts that I have. Thank you. First off, before I go ahead, thank you Truesanoger so much for the sub. Everything's going well. Just talking about just talking about some sports for a little bit, and then after that, I'll be playing a little bit of gaming. As that's going on, I also need to give some thanks. Thanks to Shiva. Shout out for Shiva Senpai, please. Thank you, Shiva, for doing the artwork of the alternative logo that we use. That logo will automatically pop up every time somebody does a follow or somebody does a sub. So thank you so much for having to do the logo. And for the person that did the animation, I will send y'all a link to them. Thank you so much as well for that. Absolutely blessed to have that new alert animation come up for follows and for subs. It's absolutely great. I immediately thought of Yukio when I saw it. Like, I saw the animations for it, and I'm like, yeah, this is something I need to have.
So, mommy, you saying Daddy Shin can make a casserole? He's never made anything for me.
Damn it, Angel. Damn it, DC.
She's actually streaming some art right now at the moment, so yeah, definitely go check her out if y'all love some art. She's also she's doing some commissions at the moment. 11 more AR, then I'm done? Or is this for Monster Hunter? Shit, man. Keep at it, man. Do the best you can with Monster Hunter. It's absolutely no fucking joke. But yeah, keep doing what you're doing, bro. But yeah, thank you so much to Shiva. Thank you so much for this. Thank you so much to Fiverr for the animation. We'll be using that till further notice until I feel like changing it. That's our alternative logo that's gonna show up for follows and subs. Thank you. But to continue on back with the Eagles win 22-16. The Eagles clinch a much needed rest. They win, which means they get the #1 seed in the NFC side of things. Best record in the league, one of the best records in the league, 14-3. Absolutely killed shit, and they just got work done. They just put it done. Pretty much for the Eagles all season, they couldn't really rely on help. They had to clinch everything themselves. They legitimately had to do this. They had to clinch their wild card spot themselves. They had to clinch the division, and now they had to clinch the #1 seed all by themselves. They couldn't really get that help that they so much desired. Well, I'll take that back. They actually did get help. They got help one time, and that was from Jacksonville beating the Cowboys. So thank you so much again, Doug Peterson, for doing that. Because I'll tell you this: if he didn't beat the Cowboys would be contending for they'll be contending for the #1 spot. They'll probably be at the #1 spot. So shout out to Doug Peterson. And they would have definitely played harder. Talking about Dallas, they would have definitely played harder. You said yes, then I'm AR 161. Then I can get the dire Hardhorn. Man, good luck to you, bro. Whew, good luck. I hope you can get what you're looking for out of that. Good luck. Off this, yeah, we finished talking about the Eagles. Broncos, Chargers, 31-28. Nobody cares about this game. Now, Lions, Packers. This one we need to talk about. Lions, Packers. Sadly, the Lions are not in the playoffs, but guess what? They made sure that the Green Bay Packers don't join in the playoffs with them either. The Lions beat the Packers 20-16. Aaron Rodgers, who also might be on a send-off, he threw for 17-27, 205 yards and a touchdown. Jamal Williams scored 2 touchdowns. Jamal Williams actually broke Barry Sanders' touchdown record, for the Lions. So massive congrats to him. The anime fan already back at it again. Yeah, it would be quite crazy. Next year we might be without Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, and J.J. Watt. They all might be retiring, or in the case of Tom Brady, he might be going to Miami. We'll see what's going to happen with him. His status is up in the air, but Aaron Rodgers and J.J. Watt, they're going bye-bye. So Packers get knocked out of the playoffs, and that means the Seahawks, who won in overtime, they're going to the wild card game. So as you can see, this is the wild card matchups. We have Seattle versus 49ers. We have Chargers versus Jaguars. We have Dolphins versus Bills. We have the Giants versus the Vikings. We have the Ravens versus the Bengals. And we have the Cowboys versus the Buccaneers. What are my thoughts on most of these games? Who I think is going to win? Who I think is going to lose? I can tell you this real quick. The 49ers ain't no way in hell is going to lose to the Seattle Seahawks. Ain't no fucking way. Ain't no way they're going to lose. So, but if they do lose, it'll be quite shocking, but I just can't see it. So, 49ers are going to beat the Seahawks. Chargers versus Jags. I see the Jags walking out of there with a W because I think with the Chargers, they're just pretty much going to choke it all away like they usually do. Dolphins, Bills. I think the Bills are going to win this game. Though I will say, if Dolphins push and eliminate the Bills, that would also be quite shocking. Like, oh my goodness. It would be such a shocker in the NFL if the Seahawks beat the 49ers and the Dolphins beat the Bills. I wouldn't even know how to respond to that. Ravens versus Bengals. I think I speak for everyone else when I see the Bengals winning this game because Lamar Jackson is still not playing. So off that alone, losing your main guy and you barely squeaking the playoffs, the Bengals are going to make sure they get out the playoffs. So there's that. Giants Vikings. This to some people may be considered a shocker, but to me it's not going to be. I see the Giants beating the Vikings only because of the simple fact that the Vikings have no business being in these playoffs, which is crazy to say considering they've won the amount of games they won. but they also should have lost more games. The Vikings should have lost versus the Giants the first time around. They should have lost versus the Colts. They should have lost versus the Jets. They squeaked by 3 teams that really are not that good at all, or not good period, and they squeaked by these teams. So for the way how I see it, I see the Giants coming out and rectifying their wrong from the last game, and they eliminate the Vikings in this game. Now, do I see this happening? Yes, I very much see this happening, but another thing I see happening is the Vikings pulling one out of their ass again and somehow squeaking by over the Vikings. Squeaking by over the Giants. So that's one thing I can't put past. Cowboys versus Buccaneers. This one is probably game of the week for some people. Only for the simple fact that we don't know what Bucs team and we don't know what Cowboys team is going to show up. Now, the Cowboys on paper are a much more talented team than the Buccaneers. The problem with this is the Cowboys, as of late, have been very inconsistent and they've been exposed. So the Buccaneers have been what they are all season. They've just been teetering on winning and losing, and they've taken advantage of a very, very terrible division. But here's one caveat that stands out above the rest. The Cowboys have not beaten Tom Brady, ever. The minute he got in the league, they haven't beaten him. So we will see what will happen on Monday night on the 16th and see if Dallas can finally beat Tom Brady. But if they don't, I got to tell you, the jokes are going to fly if they don't beat Tom Brady. This will be such an insane wild card if the Giants beat the Vikings, the Buccaneers beat the Cowboys, and the Seahawks beat the 49ers. I can't tell you. I got to tell you, that would be, in my opinion, a extremely easy path for the Eagles to the Super Bowl. Extremely easy. Because they can beat the Seahawks, they can clearly beat the Giants, and they can beat the Buccaneers. But I can't see this happening at all. I can see the more ones that are most likely to happen are the 49ers and the Giants winning. At most, I see that happening. But we'll see how that'll all go come January 14th, 15th, and 16th. So we'll see. But that's it. That's my thoughts on the playoffs. You know, we're now finally in playoff season. But to also let y'all know, keep in mind, just because the NFL ends in the Super Bowl, just because they end on February 12th, that does not mean football is over. I repeat, that does not mean football is over. And the reason why football won't be over is because you have the XFL coming back the week after. So I believe it would be February 16th, I think? 16th or 17th or 18th, whichever which. I believe they made an announcement. They said they're going to do kickoff literally right after the Super Bowl. A week after the Super Bowl. So if y'all still want more football, you will get more football coming from me. So if you ever wondered why I brought back my football league last year, it's because of the fact that we had no football at the time to keep us busy until you know, the NFL will come back. Now this is not a problem anymore. Now we can have our football, you know, even in the springtime, and we can, you know, root for some teams and, you know, enjoy some shit. So I will let y'all know of the XFL teams. Give me one moment. The USFL is also coming back as well for their season, but I think people are more excited about the XFL having to come back more so than the USFL for obvious reasons, because of A, The Rock, B, the branding has been top notch and completely up there. Yeah, you know, there's that. So for me, it's just much more. For me personally, it's just much more better for me. I always felt like the XFL was better, even despite the fact the USFL finished the season. So these are the teams that you're going to be looking at for the XFL 2023. You're going to be looking at the St. Louis Battlehawks. So for anyone in St. Louis territory, you get your football team again. You get the Seattle Sea Dragons. You have the Arlington Renegades. You have one Texas team. You have the DC Defenders up in Washington. you have the Houston Roughnecks, which return. Now, in my opinion, which is going to be crazy, I believe this team is going to be a more popular team than the Houston Texans, which is wild to say. But, oh my God. We'll see how that'll all go. But yeah, we will definitely see. But yeah, you have the Houston Roughnecks, you have the Orlando Guardians. So Miami, Florida, they get a team. I'm sorry, Orlando, Florida, they get a team. So if you're in Orlando, you get to cheer for the Guardians. The San Antonio Brahmas. So that's the second Texas team. I'm sorry, that's 3 Texas teams. You got Arlington, Houston, and San Antonio. You got 3 Texas teams. You have the Seattle. Seattle. Okay, so yeah, that's it. That's all 8 teams. That's all 8 teams of the XFL. They might expand later on in time, but right now they're gonna start out with these 8 and see what'll happen afterwards. I personally think very, very soon we may have an expansion with the XFL if this does succeed, and I hope it does. Hopefully we get just a couple more teams. You know, give me an XFL team in Philly, please. I would definitely love to attend to the games. Whether it's I hope they play in the link, because you know I'm sure the link is more than enough for an XFL team, because if they put Seattle Sea Dragons back on Lumen Field, which is the home of the Seahawks, and that place is just about packed. So we'll see how this will all go. Anyway, that's everything. That's everything that there is to really talk about and discuss for today. I don't really have much else to talk about and discuss for today. So, question for all football enthusiasts here. What were your thoughts on the NFL season this year? Was there any teams that surprised you? Was there any players that surprised you coming out of this season? Because I can give you a few that came to mind. The first thing that came to mind, the first team that actually surprised me is a team that's in the playoffs right now. The San Francisco 49ers completely surprised me. Because you wouldn't think a team that loses 2 of their quarterbacks, you would think with their 3rd quarterback, that's the end of the road for them. That's it. They're done. They have nothing more left. And then they just fuck around and they just get to the playoffs. They just do not care. So, yeah, credit to them. Absolutely amazing job. They went from a team that I didn't think was going to be in the playoffs to a team that, you know, they are the 2nd seed, and that defense is white hot. If there's some weaknesses with that defense, it's probably their secondary. But aside from that, their linebackers and defensive line, they're playing amazing ball right now. And honestly, as an Eagles fan, that's the one thing I fear with having to go up against the 49ers is their defense can potentially stifle our offense unless we get the deep ball going and, you know, we give the ball to A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert and we let them eat. Another thing that worries me with this is Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy has shown that regardless of what happened next year, it's going to be a fight for QB1 between him and Trey Lance. And whoever wins that QB battle, it will be very, very interesting to see where this would all go. Especially with Brock Purdy, because now he'll have, you know, with next season, regardless of what happened this year, teams will have more film on him now. Right now, he's just thriving. The fact that no team can figure him out right now. Not one team can figure him out. They don't know his weaknesses, really. And that defense is just stepping up and they're killing it. So we don't know for how long this honeymoon's going to last with them. But yeah, at the moment, if I'm Brock Purdy, if I'm the 49ers, I enjoy it all while it lasts. Because, look, you don't know when a team is going to come up and finally be like, oh, this is how we stop you. And, you know, we finally got you. You know, it may or may not be the Eagles. It may be a team in the Super Bowl. Is the 49ers reached the Super Bowl? Yeah, massive congrats to them. Now, last but not least, a player that I think surprised me throughout the whole season is, honestly, I'm going to be a little bit biased here, but I'm still surprised. It's easily Jalen Hurts. Easily Jalen Hurts. For Jalen Hurts to have all the criticism that came his way after the 2021 season, you know, y'all can look back. Y'all can look back at my podcast episodes of the NFL draft, And I don't know if I said this about Jalen Hurts or anything like that, but I pretty much said it like this. I said if the Eagles so much as just come and get good improvement from Jalen Hurts, then this team could be dangerous to mess with. I didn't think the improvement would come like this high. Like, we knew getting A.J. Brown was a big deal, but we didn't think getting him would be this much of a big deal for Jalen Hurts and everybody on the team, because Hurts has just been phenomenal, and you guys have seen it. You know, the 2 weeks that he wasn't here, the 2 weeks he wasn't here, the Eagles suffered. And the one loss the Eagles had with him, it was because of their own mistakes. So he went from, can he improve? Can we see him improve? To, is he the MVP? Now, y'all can feel free to go ahead and give your MVP predictions. Who you think is going to win it between Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts? But the fact that Jalen Hurts is even in MVP consideration shows that his improvement was astronomical. I have to say, on the level of Josh Allen's improvement when the Bills traded for Stephon Diggs, and you see what Josh Allen is now as a quarterback. He wasn't like that when he did not have Stephon Diggs. He was pretty damn average. So, goes to show you, look, if you can get somebody that can link up well with the quarterback, it helps the quarterback immensely. And with Jalen Hurts, to see his improvement from year 1, year 2, and now year 3, second year as a starter, I couldn't have asked for a better situation to happen. Hell, I was one guy, if y'all remember, when we drafted him, I wasn't too thrilled on Jalen Hurts. Nobody was. Because we had Carson Wentz at the time. So to see him rise like this, his improvement like this, it's amazing. He's definitely somebody I was not expecting to break out like he has in the 2022-2023 season. But we'll see if he can keep up this kind of improvement next year. Win or lose in the Super Bowl, win or lose in the playoffs, we're going to have to definitely see if he can have this kind of improvement. Because it's not easy. It's already not easy enough to get back to the playoffs. It's more so not easy to get back to the Super Bowl if we do make it. So, the important thing is winning it. Winning the whole thing. And hopefully the Eagles will be able to do that. That's it. Now, Fuyu, Truzanoger, Demonic, do y'all have any last thoughts on this podcast episode? You got anybody that surprised you throughout the NFL season? Do you have any thoughts with any of the topics that that we talked about today? Any last thoughts? Because if not, I have no problem having to end this podcast episode from here. And I'll be coming back in a little bit. I'll be coming back in like 20-30 minutes because I want to keep playing Life is Strange. That's definitely a game we're gonna have to catch up on. So, I'm gonna get a sip of something to drink. That's definitely one thing I'm gonna do. I need to get me something to drink so fucking bad. This is the schedule for anyone that have not seen the schedule. As I wait for y'all responses. Okay, so as I wait for y'all responses, this is the schedule. Don't let the lightning round logo fool you. Of course, we will be playing Life is Strange. 4:30 p.m. I will be coming back with Phantasy Star Online 2. I will be doing the story. I repeat, I will be doing the story, the original story of Phantasy Star Online. I know it's a long story and it's something I'm gonna have to deal with, but it's something that I have to get done. Also, we're gonna play Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel as well. So 4:30 through 8, we'll be playing the PSO2 story, and 8 through 10:30, I will be playing Master Duel. Thursday, I'm completely off. I'm not doing anything on Thursday. Friday, 5:30 p.m., I will be coming back with Yakuza, and Saturday, 5:30, I will be coming back with Okami. Speaking of Okami, Real quick for if any of y'all love Okami, Okami right now is $10 in the eShop. So yeah, if y'all don't have the game yet, or if you have it but not on the Switch, now's the time to get it because it's $10. $10. Can't beat that. And there you go. That's it. Till then, guys, that's it for me. I am pretty much done for now. I will be coming back at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Life is Strange. I'm not gonna send a raid only because of this reason, because I'll be back in like 20 minutes. Yeah, 20 minutes. I'll be coming back. I'll be chilling with Life is Strange. We need to continue on playing where we last left off with this game, and we'll see how it'll all go. Till then, thank y'all for coming by with this episode. Y'all have yourself a, if y'all don't show up, I hope y'all have yourself a good rest of the night, good rest of the day, or a good rest of the afternoon. Till then, every second, every minute, every hour for me is every second, every minute, every hour. I am blessed and thankful for it. So, till then, if you're coming by for Life is Strange stream, I'll see you in a little bit. If you're not, I will see you tomorrow. Peace.